So it's 1992, Dallas. I'm 26 years old, and I've recently moved in with my boyfriend, Chip. And we loved the club scene in the weekend. During the week, I was a admissions rep for ATI Technical Institute. Oh, boring. And come midweek, I was already daydreaming about the weekend. What I would wear, something black and chic. Oh. Where we would go. Club 1 in Deep Ellum, of course. And who we would see. Mostly our gay friends and acquaintances, many of them with beautiful straight women draped on their arms. When one of my friends was asked a few years before, "Why is it that straight women hang out with gay men?" he replied, "Why? It's because we have the best music and the best drugs." No truer words. My particular drug of choice was ecstasy. Yes, I know, in today's parlance, it's Molly. I see you, Gen Z. But I prefer the former term because of how it made you feel. You know, you were all warm and glowy, empathetic, and just open to the experiences of the night. My friends and I jokingly referred to it as taking the Eucharist, because once we were on it and all communing together at our favorite places of worship, it was like our own religious experience. Well, this one Saturday night, we were all getting ready, Chip and me and all the denizens of Club 1, but we weren't going to the club, no. We were headed to the warehouse of our friend, Alex, our French friend. He had, it was like a good working, like living space up front, but massive party room in back. And we were all so excited because we were going to be entertaining the club kids from New York City. And the way that we got them there, well, one of our tribe, we'll call her B, the first letter of her first name, and an apt description of her vile personality. B worked as a manager of a check cashing place by day and a major drug dealer at night. And so the only way somebody that evil could have any standing in our beautiful, glamorous club world was to buy her way in. And she did that by flying a large contingent of the club kids down to Dallas to play with us. Now, if you're not familiar with the club kids, they were an early 90s phenomenon. I think they were mainly just lots of kids that came from small towns, leading smaller lives, just wanting to be something in the big city. So when they went out, they went all out. They wore the most over-the-top costumes. It was like RuPaul's Drag Race meets Mad Max via Barbarella. Check him out on YouTube. I'm not kidding. Well, they blew up so big that they even had appearances on Geraldo and Joan Rivers and Donahue. And man, we in Dallas, we were in awe of them and their creativity. But back to getting ready for the big night. The theme of the party was trailer park. And knowing Chip, I don't remember what he wore, but I don't see him doing the theme because he was always dressed in such casual style and elegance. A white or black linen dress shirt, black jacket, black pants. I do vividly remember what I wore that night. See, I knew I could not compete with the New York club kids or even our local club kids for that matter, but I did want to play with the theme. So I had this really cute purple baby doll dress that somehow had gotten bleach splashed all over it. Thanks, Chip. And so what I did is I took a Sharpie and I wrote all over it, white trash, Dallas Hick, X, E, just all over it. And then I donned my groovy headband. I mean, it was the era of Delight's Groove is in the Heart, and my big happy face pendant, and I was ready for the night. And boy, the night did not disappoint. Oh, I was just so in awe of everybody. I mean, I was so proud of our local club kids. They came in their stacked platform boots, their feather boas, their glam makeup, their neon hair. Not really trailer park, but certainly they gave the New York club kids a run for their money. The night was kind of a blur. I mean, we had a live DJ who played hard house music, and we had an open bar, well covered by our $50 tickets, which, I mean, at that time, that was a lot of money, and we were always broke. And even one of our own drag queens got up on the DJ stand and did a full-on backflip in platforms and stuck the landing. 10! Just another crazy night in Clublandia. But the one person everybody wanted to meet was the king of the New York club kids, Michael Alig. At some point, I must have even somehow gotten a hold of him because I've got a picture of Michael and me, arm in arm. Well, as the night drew down to a close, it was around 4 a.m., and, people were leaving either for the comforts of their beds or to another after party or to Denny's to sober up. But me and Mike ilk, we were the diehards. We stuck around. I mean, when were we going to have another opportunity to party with the club kids from New York? So there was a group of about 6 or 8 of us standing around talking to Michael, who was wearing his iconic bright blue shorty overalls, Peter Pan collar, and bright blue bow, just like the adult toddler he was. When somebody with a video camera comes over, now this is 92. I mean, a video camera back then was no small thing. I mean, this was the era of taking your disposable camera to the drugstore to have it made either into matte or glossy prints. Would you like doubles? So when this video camera arrived, it looked like something off a Hollywood set, complete with a giant light to shine onto its subject. Well, the moment Michael spotted that, he whooped and squealed, and I shit you not, took out his Vienna sausage-sized dick and started squealing, "Suck me for a show! Suck me for a show!" Startled, taken aback, we all just kind of like, and then he whined, "Suck me for a show, somebody, suck me for a show." Needless to say, none of us took him up on it, and he stomped off in a huff. Flash forward 2 years, it's 1994, and I'm sitting in the salon chair of my friend Patricia at North Park Mall, when Patricia leans in and half whispers in my ear, "Michael killed someone." What? Huh? Michael who? We had a lot of Michaels in the club scene, could have been anybody. Huh? She then proceeds to tell me the rumor going around the New York club scene is that Michael Alig has killed his dealer, Angel. Well, it's like that scene in The Matrix. I'm like, whoa, sorry. And I was just overwhelmed. I mean, here I am, it's 2 years later, I'm married, I've got a newborn. I don't even remember what Patricia did to my hair. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just overwhelmed and shocked, but somehow not surprised, because we did keep up with the antics of the New York club kids. But over those 2 years, their fun had taken a really dark turn. They had gone from ecstasy and coke to ketamine and heroin. And their over-the-top fun costumes went from bright and glamorous to like Wes Craven-style horror almost overnight. It was Michael's own druggy confession on a local cable access show that got him. The guy asked about Angel, and Michael replied, "Oh, that's right, I killed Angel." Well, Angel's mutilated corpse would be found washed up on the shores of the Hudson River a few months later. The whole sordid tale was captured by the club kid James St. James in his book Disco Bloodbath. Then a documentary was made called Party Monster, which was then made into the major motion picture Party Monster, starring Macaulay Culkin as Michael and Seth Green as St. James. And B had a cameo, played by Natasha Lyonne. Talk about gracious casting. Anyway, Michael would go on to serve 17 years. He got out in 2014, but the club scene had changed. Everybody had moved on, and he just couldn't recapture the mojo of those heady early days. And on Christmas Day, 2020, Michael's boyfriend found him unresponsive from an accidental heroin overdose. He was 54, my exact same age. When I think about it, it's so different. I mean, here I am with that boyfriend who will be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary this summer. We went on to raise 2 beautiful, creative, amazing daughters. We even spent 3 years in Montreal for his work. Bonjour. We went on a couple of amazing river cruises. one river cruise, one to Alaska, one on the Danube. And we just basically made our life here in Austin. And I even became executive director of a nonprofit, one that talks about job seekers. Nobody says anything out of this room. But one day, when we do have grandchildren, I'm going to pull out that photo when they're old enough, and I'm going to be like, look who I partied with. I partied with the party monster, a murderer. Also, they'll know their Glammy was and still is a cool chick. Thank you.